Hello and welcome back to the Wrestling Group on YouTube. Today we have our rankings video, which is a top 10 under 30 wrestlers from around the world. Do you know what? When I first announced this, I was like, I'll do a top 10 so it doesn't take too long, the video. So I announced it as suggested by Austin from the Facebook Live group. And then I started writing down all these wrestlers' names, and so many wrestlers that are under the age that I didn't think it'd be as hard as it turned out to be. There's so many that just didn't make the cut. I think I could have been better doing a top 30, under 30, done it maybe in 3 parts. Because it ended up a lot harder than what I thought it would be. You know, so much great talent out there that's just not made the cut. But unfortunately, that's the way it is. And like I say, it's top 10, so it's from 10 down to 1, 10 being the lowest and obviously 1 being the highest. And it's under the age of 30, so not 30 years of age and under, 29 and under I'm going for. So unfortunately, the likes of Jay White and Darby Allin, who've obviously 30 years of age, have missed out on this one. But I didn't want to include 30-year-olds because, to be honest with you, 29 and under was hard enough. You know, like I say, so much great talent that's missed out. But I've got to go based on what I believe to be the top 10 right now in the world. All companies, you know, Impact, Ring of Honor, New Japan, WE, AEW, you know, every company's been looked at. So I think in the end, I had a list of about 25 and whittled it down to 10. So this will be my 10. So let me know obviously in the comments afterwards what you think. Let me know your top 10, because obviously not everyone watches every company, so not everyone will have the exact same top 10. So let me know in the comments what your top 10 wrestlers under the age of 30 are, so 29 and under. So we'll start with number 10, and I've gone for a favourite of mine, and I know Joseph Parr, I know he's one of your favourites, Master Wato. I've got to put him in. I mean, I was looking at some of the talents I was missing out, and I was like, oh, can he still make it? Can he still make it? You know, you got the likes of Blake Christian and Nick Wayne and, you know, Bron Breakker and people that are doing big things, Carmelo Hayes, and they've all missed out. But like, I've got to back Master Wato. I mean, if you don't watch New Japan, check out some of his matches. He's had a good showing in last year's Best of Super Juniors. He had a fantastic performance at Wrestle Kingdom in the Fatal 4-Way. You know, the amount of times he come close to actually winning the junior heavyweight title, I was on the edge of my seat. I was like, couldn't take any more false finishes. I think at one point I was like, I was just like so desperate for him to win the belt. You know, he's been the junior tag team champion, but you know, hopefully this year will be his year. I'm hoping he's going to win the Best of the Super Juniors. I'd imagine he'd be in it. You know, I think I read this morning it's going to be April 27th. They're going to announce the Best of Super Juniors. So it'll be interesting to see who's in that. But I'd expect Master Wato to be in there. And like I say, if you've not seen him yet, go and have a little look at some of his stuff, especially that Fatal 4-Way from Wrestle Kingdom was just fantastic. And like I say, expecting big things. Hopefully he'll be junior heavyweight champion by the end of this year. Like I say, hopefully he'll win the Best of the Super Juniors as well. So I've got loads of potential there for Master Wato to become on to big things. You know, the likes of Takahashi, you know, needs to be moving up out of the junior heavyweight division now, and obviously he's challenging Sanada by the look of it for the world heavyweight. So it's about time. Like, he's been around the Super Juniors for a long time now, same as what Ospreay was, and then obviously he moved up and become into the main event. So hopefully Takahashi can do that, at least go into the mid card. So they need to freshen up the Super Juniors at the moment. It's gone a little bit stale. You know, it's been the same for the past couple of years. But, you know, maybe putting the belt on someone like a Master Wato will just freshen it up a little bit more. Well, that's what I'm hoping for anyway. Like I say, I've got loads of time to watch him, and I think he's got loads of potential to go far. So that is number 10, Master Wato from New Japan. Number 9, going for Konosuke Takeshita. If I've said that right, that's a hard one to say. Didn't know much about him, to be honest, until he come over to AEW. And then I started watching some of his matches, and then I've even gone and watched some of his matches on Dark, you know, Rampage, Dynamite, even Ring of Honor. He was on the Ring of Honor kickoff show, wasn't he, against Willie Mack? You know, every time he has a match, it's a banger. You know, the match against MJF, you know, there's loads of matches there to go out your way, and watching Danielson, you know, he's already going to get some big names in AEW. Just needs to get a couple more wins under his belt. Hopefully that'll come soon. And I can't imagine him not having a championship round his waist at some point this year. Whether that be on Ring of Honor or AEW, you know, you've got Creepy Dunne hanging around, hoping to shine him up to a contract with like Kenny Omega and that. So remains to be seen what he'd be like in a storyline. We've not seen really a storyline for him as such, really. You know, he had that little thing with MJF, didn't he? But like I say, hopefully they push on and give him something a bit more storyline wise this year. Give him a championship run as well. But you know, whether or not they let him go over and do Best Super Juniors or G1, it's a good shout. You know, it's a good possibility there. But I refer to him as like, to me, he's like the Japanese Claudio Castagnoli. You know, it's just like his performance levels are great. He never seems to dip. His strength is brilliant as well. You know, throwing uppercut too. So hopefully, again, another one that we'll be looking out for this year, to hopefully push on and get a championship round his waist at some point. You know, I know he's a big hit in DDT, but he seems to be a big hit so far in AEW. So with any luck, again, it'll be another one that we can see with a championship round the waist at some point this year. And again, if you haven't seen Takeshita yet, check him out. He's definitely worth a look. So he's number 9. Sorry, my throat's going. This isn't very good, is it? Sorry, very unprofessional. Number 8 has got to be Jungle Boy Jack Perry. Jungle Boy, fantastic. Love him. Absolute fan of his work. Again, another one I wasn't familiar with until he come to AEW. He's been there from the beginning. He's made a good name for himself. You know, obviously being tag team champion with Luchasaurus. You know, they had a good storyline going with them as champs, and then obviously they split them off. They done the whole Christian Cage angle, and you know, it took a while to get there in the end, obviously because of Christian's injuries and such. But you know, he's had some good matches against Luchasaurus. He had a good match against Christian at the last pay-per-view. Yeah, it's a big win as well to get a win over Christian, and obviously they're propelling him at the moment into this 4-pillar storyline, which looks like it might end in a fatal 4-way, double or nothing. So again, you know, expecting big things from Jungle Boy going forward. I'm a bit disappointed that he hasn't had the singles championship run yet in AEW. He hasn't had the tag belt for a while, and he's been away from Luchasaurus for a while. So I feel like they could have put the TNT championship on him, the international championship. You know, there's plenty of belts around, and they haven't put a singles belt on him. So obviously, I'm not expecting him to come away winning the AEW World Championship, but I expect him to give it a good go. And again, performance wise, he's fantastic. I don't remember a poor Jungle Boy performance so far that I've seen of his. And like I say, you know, a big win over Christian, you know, pushing forward to the main event, which it has done. So hopefully we're going to see a bit more of this 4-pillar stuff. Like I say, I want to see if it plays out to a fatal 4-way at double or nothing, and then see where it goes from beyond. Because I mean, this is a storyline that they could have going for years if they do it right. But definitely interested to see what happens with Jungle Boy this year. I feel like, obviously, I don't think he's going to win the AEW World Championship. I think it would be too early because they haven't done him up enough. But having said that, if he doesn't win it, hopefully they'll put like the TNT Championship on him, because I could easily see Jungle Boy beating like a Powerhouse Hobbs, you know, for the belt, or even doing Ring of Honor and going for the Ring of Honor Television Championship against Samoa Joe, maybe. You know, he is at that level where he can be beating those types of guys. So again, hopefully we'll see a singles belt on Jungle Boy by the end of the year. It's reason at number 8. Now, I know I said it's top 10, and I know you might get me on this one, but I couldn't pick between the two, so I've had to put them as a joint number 7. So, you know, apologies. So it's technically like an 11, but Ace Austin and Chris Bay, I've put them together because they're a tag team right now. You know, the Impact Tag Team Champions, and you know, they've been teaming for a little while now, about a year or so, maybe about a year, I think, when Jay White obviously got them both into the Bullet Club, and they started teaming, and they become the ABC Ace and Bay Connection, is it? That's what they're calling themselves anyway. So basically like Bullet Club, innit? You know, both doing brilliant stuff. You know, They've done well in the X Division obviously beforehand, but you know they've pushed on a lot since they've been doing this run at the moment where they're a tag team. You know, very impressive some of the matches that they've had, and then obviously going and winning the belts as well. And I expect them to be propelled into the storyline going forward as well, with Jay White making his Bullet Club Black and Gold faction by the look of it over in the US, and obviously recruited both of them to be in the Bullet Club, so would expect them to play some part going forward, maybe at Forbidden Door or something like that. But you know, like I say, both of them I can see being future Impact World Champs. They're both brilliant, so talented in the ring. You know, Ace Austin's had his character gimmick down for a while now, which is always been interesting for me. I know they put him with what was his name? My man Fulton for a bit, didn't he? I wasn't too fussed on that, but Ace always shined anyway. So, and then obviously Chris Bay, he's massively talented as well. So, you know, forgive me for this one for putting them together, but technically they're a tag team right now. So, you know, when I think of one, I think of the other, and I'm sure if anyone watches Impact right now, and especially over the past year, when you think of one of them, you think of the other one. So, you know, I wouldn't say either one right now is better than the other. So, you know, putting them in a joint place as the tag team champions, so sue me. So I'm having Ace Austin and Chris Bay, joint number 7. So we move on to number 6. Now that's where it's getting interesting now. So we've got Austin Ferry. Now, might surprise a few people I've put Austin Ferry in this, because I've openly criticised him in the past. But, you know, the lad he's got a talent. He's not, I don't know, he's just got one of them faces I just want to slap. You know, and I don't think his promo works the best. His in-ring, for me, is pretty limited, what I've seen. Obviously, I haven't watched it as much as what other people have. You know, but to be honest with you, like, he's got something, hasn't he? He's got something that's going to make him go up to the next level. He really has, you know. He's already been a multi-time US champ, I think twice, is it? He's been Money in the Bank winner. You know, he's just had a massive win over John Cena at WrestleMania, and it wasn't just a win, like, he dominated John Cena. Like, he really did dominate him. I thought it was a bit early for him to go over him, but to be honest, if you're going to push on for the next generation, which they've got to do, like, you know, when Roman eventually ends this reign of terror, they've got to look at the next superstars they're going to push up. You know, they've already dropped the ball for me on Cody not going over, so I mean, eventually, at some point, he's going to be a world champ. Cody Rhodes would expect, and he's going to need a big heel to go against. And I think Austin Theory can actually fill that role. He's got to work on a little bit more of his promo for me, and a little bit more on his in-ring, just dust up a bit more. But it's hard because WWE limits everything, don't they? It's scripted promos, and it's limited time in the ring, you know, and you've got like Raw, which is a 3-hour show, and you're having 27 minutes of actual wrestling. It's hard for them to be able to show what they can do. But he's definitely got something there that he's going to be a world champ. Like in WWE will book him as a WWE champion at some point. A lot of people compare him to like John Cena and stuff like that. I don't see that. I don't see the resemblance. I see him more of like a Miz. I see him more of like a mid-carder who will then occasionally get a WWE championship run, if you like. So, like, obviously the Miz was Intercontinental Champion, and then obviously they pushed him up into WWE Championship, which he held for a few months, and then he didn't hold it again for like 10 years. I can imagine Austin Theory being that. I can't think of Austin Theory being a 14-15 time world champ, but at the same time, he's what is he now, 26, something like that. So he's got plenty of time to push on and become a main eventer, and I do really think that WWE will push him at some point. And like I say, he could be a really good heel to go against Cody, if Cody ever actually does become a WWE champion. You know, Austin Theory could be up there with him. And like I say, he dominated John Cena. He's got to come off and have a big year this year. Has to, and just push on from there. You know, he's got to be starting to look around the main title picture after a big win against you know, an icon, basically an icon in WWE, John Cena. So Austin Theory's my number 6 pick. Just moving through quite quick, to be fair. Number 5 now, I've put Pete Dunne / Butch, because he's known as Butch right now, isn't he? And you know what? If you'd have done this video a couple of years ago, before obviously Pete Dunne come up to the, I'm going to call him Pete Dunne because I can't stand Butch. If you'd done it a couple of years ago, like I say, before he comes to the main roster, You know, when he was having the NXT UK run, he was phenomenal. When he was having the NXT run, he was doing great things there too. You know, he's had some fantastic matches over the years. You know, with Tyler Bate and Walter, and you know, it was hard to find a port match of Pete Dunne's from back when he was in NXT and NXT UK before he was called up. But you know, since comes the main roster, you know, they've given this crap gimmick, and you know, he's lost more than what he's won, and they've not given the minutes in the matches to show exactly what he can do. And you know, if you look at Gunther, what they're doing with him, obviously used to be Walter. You know, he's had an incredible Intercontinental Championship reign, and you know he's looked dominant, and they've booked him to win against big people, and they've booked him to win when people haven't expected him to win. You know, the win against Sheamus at Clash of the Castle, and then again at WrestleMania versus Drew and Sheamus. You know, but these are the type of things that Pete could be doing. Like he's good enough easily to hang with the likes of them. You know, he's good enough easy to have a mid card belt and have it for a good while too. You know, he's so talented, and luckily he's only just 29, so he just makes the cut on this list. But like I say, a couple of years ago he'd have been my number one pick. You know, there was no one better than him. I would have said there was no one better than him when he was in NXT UK, when he was with the NXT UK Championship. There was no one better than him, and he was fantastic. And I managed to meet him a few years ago in Liverpool, and I was made up. And then obviously they pulled him off to the main roster, and they've just fumbled him left, right, and centre with this stupid Peaky Blinders type get up that he's wearing for some strange reason, and calling him Butch, and even aligning him with what's his name? Is it Rich Holland and Sheamus? You know, it's poor. He needs to break away and just become the bruiserweight again, because you know, again, he will be definitely higher in this ranking system if it wasn't for the fact that he's been used poor for the last year or two that he's come up, unfortunately. But like I say, it goes on everything, doesn't it? It's not just on his talent. Like on talent alone, he's definitely one of the top guys up there. You know, he's phenomenal. Like I say, the matches he's had, like especially like I said with Tyler Bate and Walter, them matches alone, just absolutely incredible. So unfortunately, he's number 5. But you know, I was looking at it, and I was actually, to be fair, when I was looking through all the names, like I say, of people that are on the list, and you know, again, like Dante Martin, Blake Christian, you know, there's so many names there of people that are coming up and coming and stuff, and you know, looking to push on. And then people like Bron Breakker and that have been an NXT champion, and Carmelo Hayes just won it. You know, there's so much talent there that is under 30, and I did actually look at some of these, especially the likes of a Pete Dunne, and think, do we just go based off the last couple of years, or do we go based off everything I've seen from them? And I thought, no, it's got to be everything I've seen from them, because like when I see him, even though he's doing a stupid gimmick and stuff, I still think of them fantastic matches that he has had, and I think it's tight to take that away from him. So he's got to be number 5. Number 4, Wheeler Yuta. Now, Wheeler, when he first come in, and he aligned himself with the Best Friends, I'll be honest with you, I'm not a big fan of the Best Friends. I don't get the thing of why people love them so much. Yes, they hug in the ring, but you know, it's like Trent is a talented wrestler. Chucky T can take him or leave him, and then obviously Orange Cassidy's gone stale a bit for me. He's still performing really well, like he's still having great matches. You know, with his belt and stuff, but I don't know, it's just the gimmick and stick and that's all gone a bit stale, like Best Friends. So when he was aligned with them, I couldn't care for him. I really didn't care for him. And then he starts doing this whole thing, didn't he, about getting him in the Blackpool Combat Club, and he faced Mox, and he had that brutal match, you know, where Mox beat him, but he still come out like proper solid and strong from it. And then obviously they brought him into the Blackpool Combat Club, and you know, he's been a 2-time Ring of Honor pure champion now. You know, and he's done really good. Like, you can't deny him that he's good. He's good working under the pure rules, and then he went away to in the Best of the Super Juniors last year, and he had a good show in there too. You know, he's improving so much. And he's gone from someone that I couldn't really care about to someone that I do want to see. Like, if his name's attached to a match, I am going to watch it. You know, he had the good match against Shibata as well, at the last Ring of Honor pay-per-view. So, you know, obviously with him losing the belt, hopefully they can start focusing more on his work with Dynamite now rather than Ring of Honor. You know, so we can start seeing him in the Blackpool Combat Club and being that more aggressive and violent side that they've started to push on with at the moment with the Blackpool Combat Club. But Wheeler's definitely one for the future that I think can definitely be a solid mid-carder. Right now, I wouldn't say he'd be a world champ. There's always possibility there. I mean, he could be Ring of Honor world champ, like, you know, no doubt there, because they focus more on the in ring rather than as a whole. Like AEW, you need to do both, really, don't you? You need to be good with the promo work and the in ring work. You know, that's why Hangman's Reign, a lot of people don't put it down as being one of the better reigns in AEW's, because it just felt a bit flat. But I think that was mainly because like his promo and his storylines just weren't there. But yeah, so Wheeler Yuta, he's number 4. Like I say, some of the pure wrestling matches he's had have been brilliant. His showing in the Best of the Super Juniors last year was really good. You know, he's just constantly improving. Like I say, now they've took this like term where they're like heels now, like more violent and attacking people and stuff. I'd be interested to see what happens with Yuta going forward. But he's a good talent. He's only young and he's a good talent, and I do look forward to seeing what comes from next. Like I say, I expect him to be like a multi-time mid-card champ, definitely. Hopefully see him with the tag belts as well. Whether it be in Ring of Honor or AEW, I'd like to see Yuta and Claudio, because they've got that little like brotherly relationship going, haven't they, at the moment? So I'd like to see them run with tag belts for a bit as well. So number 4 is Wheeler Yuta. So we're moving on to number 3 with Daniel Garcia. There's no surprise I've put Daniel Garcia in this. If anyone is any part of the wrestling Facebook group or follows me on Twitter, anything, knows how much I rate Daniel Garcia. I think he's a fantastic wrestler, and again, he's another one that's been shown exactly what he can do in the ring. For the Ring of Honor Pure Championship, you know, he used the Pure Champ as well, wasn't he? And he's had some absolute banging matches with Wheeler Yuta. You know, he got a victory against Bryan Danielson. You can't take that away from him, you know what I mean? That's a fantastic result for him. That's a big win, you know. Unfortunately, I feel like he's stifled at the moment with being with this Jericho Appreciation Society faction. I think the faction's dead, to be honest. I don't think anyone cares about it anymore apart from Chris Jericho. You know, and I think Daniel Garcia is suffering because of it. He had a good performance against Adam Cole, although we lost. You know, and he can have these great matches with the biggest names in wrestling already. You know what I mean? He's still what, 24, 25, and he's having these matches already against like your Adam Cole's, like your Danielsons, you know, and Wheeler Yuta and the likes of them. But you know, obviously the big names like say like Cole and Danielson alone, you know, they're two big names in wrestling, and he needs to capitalise on it. And I feel like if you got rid of the stupid gimmick that they're doing where he's not a wrestler, he's a sports entertainer, like I feel like they should have let him go on to the Blackpool Combat Club and we'd be seeing a lot better things from him right now. He's still great in the ring. I just think he's not working much better outside the ring than what he was before he joined the Jericho Appreciation Society. You know, when he was part of, what did they call it, when he had the two fellas that were in 2.0, was it just Danny Garcia in 2.0, I think it was, wasn't it? And he was called Red Death or something, wasn't he? You know, when he was doing that, and he was just attacking people and stuff backstage, and then he was getting matches out of it, and he was having these banging matches, you know, that was much better than what he's doing now with this stupid storyline. But again, another great talent, and there's no surprise that I put him in my top 10. I was a rave about him. Like, I'll watch him in anything. There's a few wrestlers in the world that if the name's attached to something, I'll go and check out, and Daniel Garcia is definitely one. So he's my number 3. So coming in at number 2 is Kingo. So a lot of people have only just realised Kingo's a thing because he faced Kenny Omega a couple of weeks ago. You know, it was so funny to see people online asking who is he. And all you got to do is just type his name into YouTube, man. There's matches of his on YouTube. You know, he's had a fantastic match against Ray Fenix. He's had a fantastic match against Bandito. You know, these are all people, if you watch AEW, know who they are because they're in AEW. So you already know who they are. So, you know, you should be checking this guy out instead of just going who. And then, you know, and then they had the WE marks and they were all whinging because Tony Khan was saying, it's a dream match, and everyone's like, well, why is it a dream match? And it's like, yeah, but if you actually got interested in the actual long-term story of it, of the fact that he was supposed to face for the AAA Mega Championship until Kenny Omega had to vacate the belt and get injured, there was so many eyes on then, and Kingo's gone, and he's won the belt, and he's took the belt to the next level, and he's faced the likes of Fenix, the likes of Bandito, and he's had these great matches. So, it was a great match, like, you can't deny it, like, he just pings around the ring, and he's only what, 25, so dude's got loads of time on his side, and he's doing some fantastic stuff, some stuff that you probably won't see other wrestlers do unless you watch the likes of AAA. But like I say, he is a talent. I mean, I get it. A lot of people don't like flips and stuff like that. They don't like the high flying and the flipping and stuff. People call on the box for shit all the time, and people just go, oh, yeah, it's another one of these. But man, this dude is talented. Like say, against Omega, against Fenix, against Bandito, against Commander at Ring of Honor. Dude's got massive talent, and he'll go places as well. And at the end of the match, everyone knew who he was and what he was about. The one on Dynamite against Kenny, and I'm hoping, like, they've managed to book him in a couple of matches now. I'm hoping they'll be able to work it out where they can do something with him going forward. Whether his contract will be up soon and they can steal him away, I don't know. But even if he just keeps coming back in to do the odd matches and storylines and stuff, would be great, because I watch him no matter what. And like I say, if you were asking me anything to do with Kingo, or if you were talking about Kingo or anything like that over the last couple of weeks, then I've been sending you stuff on YouTube, so you shouldn't be surprised that I've put them in here and I've put them up so high. Like, I've been sending matches to people, going, check this out. If you haven't seen it, check this out. And seen a couple of his matches before, obviously before he ended up in AEW, so I was interested anyway. I was like, "Oh, I can't wait to see this." And for me, I don't know whether it'd say a dream match, but it'd definitely be a good fantasy booking. Of something that I want to see was Vikingo versus Omega, and he'd have matches with so much talent in that locker room in AEW. There's that much there for him to be able to do, and that many people he can face. And he brings it every time. Like, it's not just he was doing it because it was the big occasion. That's how he wrestles. That's how he goes. I've seen him climbing the roof and dropping down on someone to do a move. You know what I mean? So it's no shock, like you say, if you've seen him wrestle, it's no shock that he's in my top 10 and he's so high up. And if you haven't seen him wrestle, just type in Vikingo versus Fenix or Vikingo versus Bandito and watch their two massive matches that I love. Walk them on, and you won't be surprised. You know what I mean? That he's in my list. He's fantastic. So yeah, I'll do a quick rundown now, and then we'll go down to number one, which I'll be surprised if you haven't already guessed it. So, like I say, so much talent, unfortunately, I missed out. If we'd have done the top 30, under 30s, then we might have got everyone in. If we'd done on top 20, you'd have still missed so many out. But I've gone with this, so let me know in the comments, as I say, what you think. Number 10 is Master Wato from New Japan. Number 9 is Konosuke Takeshita from AEW. Number 8 is Jungle Boy from AEW. Number 7 is a joint of Ace Austin and Chris Bay from Impact. Number 6 is Austin Ferry from WWE. Number 5 is Butch or Pete Dunne from WWE. Number 4 is Wheeler Yuta from AEW / Ring of Honor. Number 3 is Daniel Garcia from AEW, and number 2 is Vikingo, your AAA Mega Champion. So that takes us to number 1, and who is it gonna be? Well, he's better than you, and you know it. MJF. I mean, it couldn't be anyone else, could it? Dude's AEW World Champion. He's world champion, probably the hottest company right now. And I know a lot of people will take that and do what you want with that comment, but for me, it is the hottest company right now. WrestleMania Night 1 was brilliant for WWE, Night 2 was such a letdown, WrestleMania Raw was absolutely shocking. So we'll move on from that anyway and focus on MJF. Dude's world champion, like, you know what I mean? He's under 30 and he's already a world champ. Was he about 27, 28? Amazing on the microphone, absolutely amazing on the mic. You know, his storytelling's great, making people jump through hoops to face him. And that was even before he was world champion. He was making people jump through hoops just to face him. And it's like, how dare you turn around to like a legend like Chris Jericho and make him jump through all these hoops just to face him? And he done it with Cody as well. And it's just like, you know, just the brass balls on the kid. And he's like, for you to face me, you've got to do this. It's like, what? And I know people are starting to get annoyed by it because he does it with a lot of people now. It's like say, he done it with Cody, done it with Jericho, he's done it with Danielson. So people are like, oh yeah, you know, he keeps doing it. Why does he keep doing it? It's because that's the character, that's the gimmick. The build up is like, you know, you're not good enough to face me. It doesn't matter what you've done previous. It doesn't matter what you've done in other companies. You know, right now you can't beat me. Right now you don't deserve to even face me, so you've got to prove yourself to me. And I think that's brilliant. You know, they've done the diamond ring thing now for a couple of years, haven't they, where he's won it consecutively. And you know what, when they first done it, and it was kind of a hit on Cody in Ring of Honor. If you've ever seen where he won the Ring of Honor, the actual Ring of Honor, he had the Ring of Honor, didn't he? And that's why they brought in this diamond ring in AEW, so that MJF could do it and run the story basically in AEW as opposed to Ring of Honor on a wider scale, and done it more arrogantly as well, to be fair. And you know, it was good stuff. It was good to see. But then he's just pushed on from there. You know, he's had some really good matches, and then a lot of people are saying, you know, he's not as good in the ring as he is on the mic, and he probably is better on the mic than he is in the ring. But there's no denying after that match, that Iron Man match against Danielson, just how good and how talented he is in the ring, because he is really talented, and he does a lot more than what people think that he does. You know, a lot of times his matches don't call for him to show exactly what he can do. You know, he's had some great matches in AEW alone, like you say, matches against Cody, matches against Jericho, matches against CM Punk, who didn't love MJF and CM Punk. You know, and then that match against Danielson, and the storylines are just always good, and the promos are just always good, and to be honest with you, there is literally no one that you can argue with and say should be like any other position in the list. You could probably argue the points of whether they should be in it, and you could probably give me reasons why they shouldn't be in it, and you should probably give me reasons why someone else should be in the list instead. But MJF, you can't argue the points on this one. MJF is in the top 10, and MJF is number 1. And it literally goes without saying, like, he is better than you, and you know it. But like, his matches are great. He's an AEW, he's the AEW World Champion. You know, dude's one of the best on the microphone that I've seen in years. He stays in his character as well massively when he's meeting fans and stuff. Like, I only posted a video the other day on the group of he's gone to a signing, and there's a baby like crying. Obviously it's in the prominence, crying. He's probably bored and fed up, and he just starts just whinging at this kid. Like, it's like, what are you doing? And he just starts whinging at this kid. And then, like, you've seen him, and like, you see him and the stuff he does at conventions and that's why it's always people recording it and putting it up and stuff online, because the dude stays in character like all the time. You know, the pictures and stuff online, even his Twitter account's brilliant, just to follow that, just for all the crap he puts on it, and the way he calls people out and stuff, and he just doesn't care. And that's the character that he plays, and he plays it so well, but he plays it all the time. And, you know, no one else is as dedicated to the character nowadays than what MJF is. So yeah, so that's my top 10. So like I say, as always, give us a like, give us a comment, let me know your top 10 under 30 wrestlers in the world right now. Let me know if you agree or disagree with any of my options, and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already. And thank you for watching. Don't forget to keep an eye out for more things coming over the next couple of days. I'll have some more wrestling figure unboxing videos coming out soon as well. I'll have the next rankings video announced, and there'll always be more and more wrestling content as I move on and try and push on with this YouTube channel as we try and grow it together. So I've reached over 400 views on one of my videos lately. The one where I was teasing whether Jay White would show up in WE, which we all know he didn't, and he went to AEW, which is funny because my teaser video of Jay White going to AEW only got 57 views, but there you go. But yeah, thank you to everyone who watched that. 400 views is fantastic. It's more than what I was expecting, especially this early on in the game. So as I say, thank you for watching, and check out soon.